The sun, how does it heat the earth? Well, if you go out in space, it's freezing cold. So it doesn't make any sense that the sun rays would go through that vacuum. It's just like you were to send a text message through the air. Okay? If I'm standing next to somebody who has another cell phone and I'm sending them a picture, just because it's going through the airwaves doesn't mean I could see that picture flying through the air before it gets to that phone. You see, it needs a corresponding relationship. It needs a destination. And that's what light needs. It always needs a destination because you cannot see light without it reflecting off of something. You see? And so what happens is the sun goes through this like cyberspace, if you will. It goes through another dimension, like this Ethernet cable, if you will. And it hits the center of the Earth, and then Earth's magnetic field is what heats it up. But you can't see light without it reflecting off something. So that's pretty interesting. And so this is the spirit and the soul, the divine will and the divine emotion, energy and motion. So fire by itself is just potential energy. But water, when you mix water into it and they interact, that's energy and motion, which is emotion, movement. Now you got waves moving. What do waves do? And that starts to push things. So check this out. So that's what water does. Water pulls, okay, like gravitates people towards the beaches in the summer. And that's why people flock to the oceans. And so we've got three phases of water. This is why water is the most powerful. It can behave like a liquid. It could behave, as its normal liquid, but it can behave like a solid, which is the earth element, and it can behave like the air element as well. Solid would be ice, or earth would be ice, and then vapor would be air, communication. So the soul can be held in your hand, which is ice, solidity, which is why you have to be careful about lusting after the flesh, because you'll trap your soul in here. You'll solidify it. And also it can behave like water vapor. It can communicate. Water vapor, what does it do? It goes up into heaven, right? And that's what this sign is, Pisces, the 12th sign. Communication to the heart. Jesus says, no one goes to the Father but through me. You have no humility, no humbleness. You don't submit to God. You have too much pride. The soul cannot move. It gets stuck. Pride creates a barrier. It creates stagnation for the soul. And the soul's got to, and that soul is like a river. It's got to move somewhere. And if it don't go where it needs to go, it's going to cause a flood and explosion. And you're going to be sorry that you never fix those emotional issues you've got. You know, Daddy never loved me. So anyway, you've got these four signs. Very interesting. Liquid, solid, gas. Okay, Cancer is the fourth house. 4, 8, 12. 4 is a feminine number. 8 is also feminine because they're even, like Eve. Cancer. Cancer is the fourth house. That's like the mother. Emotion. Cancer creates feeling. Its motto is I feel, ruled by the moon. This sigil, 69. 69, very interesting. Listen to this shit. So this is the soul. Okay. You see, when did we go to the moon? Right? NASA went to the moon what year? 1969. Right? And supposedly we have never been back to the moon. Or some people say we've never even been to the moon. And I think that we have been to the moon. The reason why we went to the moon is there's someone else, something else, helping NASA get there. And why they wanted us to go to the moon is very crazy. You're going to think I'm nuts, but if you think about it, man going to the moon physically, putting his footprint on that moon, on not only the moon, but the dark side of the moon, you know, because the moon is a satellite. You only see one side. So there's two basic satellites we have in the sky. There's the moon, and the satellite, you only see one side of it. So it's like a cup that listens in. We've got the moon and we've got Saturn. Saturn is the furthest satellite. Moon's the closest satellite. And these two satellites are opposite each other. Cancer and Capricorn. Okay? Cancer, Capricorn. Okay? Cancer, the moon. Moon has 29.5 day rotation around the Earth. Saturn has a 29.5 year rotation around the Sun. It's crazy. Moon is silver, reflects light. Saturn's lead, it blocks light. And so lead, when it blocks light, that's a prison cell. Because what is light? Your spirit. Your spirit is trapped in lead in a cube. It cannot leave and it cannot go in. That's why his element is lead. And that is why you don't want to go to hell, because nobody can get you out once you're trapped in there. So, 69, the moon. We went to the moon in 1969, NASA. We've never been back there. Supposedly we went past the Klein radiation belts, and these astronauts were complaining that the radiation was so strong they couldn't even get past to go even like halfway to the moon. So like, how did they even get to the moon? And so it must be some kind of conspiracy. Well, yeah, it is conspiracy. And this is the shit I'm trying to tell you, is that how they got there is through this sigil, which is the vector. What's your vector, Victor? The vector is a symbol for Scorpio. It's the unicursal, I can't even draw it now. Unicursal hexagram. It's the phoenix. You guys that are car enthusiasts, remember the Pontiac Trans Am symbol? I had a little Trans Am when I was a kid. There's a firebird, the phoenix rising out of the ashes, a big firebird on the hood of the car. That's a mascot for Scorpio. Scorpio's got, and that's what we're going to be going over, Scorpio's got the most freaking mascots. It's got the snake, the dragon, the eagle, the phoenix, the scorpion, you name it. I mean, that's because it's an angelic sign. Because it's also 8, sexual energy. That's Scorpio's sex I desire. Sexual energy is the most powerful force in the universe too. So you got the angels. If you look in NASA's logo, it's got a circle with this little blue V going around. It's almost like an A for like Apollo. But no, that's not what it really means. That is it's a spell almost. The Star of David, Star of Saturn. Saturn rules the 10th house, money, business. There's 2 Star of David's on the dollar bill. You know what that is? That's a gateway. Same thing with the Zionist flag. You see the Zionist flag? You got that Star of David? You know what that is? That's letting through these, and it's calling upon these spiritual entities to empower you, or whoever has that symbol, to gain money. That's why everyone thinks Jews can, have all the money, control all the money. It's not that. It's just that they associate and they work with that symbol, not even knowing it. The dollar bill's got 2 of them. Hello. United States is what controls the money, So they're actually calling upon and gaining, it's kind of like a phone number. 1-800, call this angel and he'll come over here and give you some money or whatever. So, creates feeling. That's 69. That's Cancer. Scorpio. Scorpio is the 8th house. 8 is a number of infinity. It's a chain link. When you have another child after you have sex, just another link on the chain, right? That's ice, solidity. It's lusting after the flesh I desire. It's your carnal instincts that rules the sex organs and the bladder. It compacts emotion. What does that mean? When you compact emotion into something that's so much energy that compacts, you get emotion, which is supposed to be joyous, positive emotion is happy, go lucky, joyous. You get so compact that you actually spin it on its head. And that's why you have people that sound like they're moaning and dying and groaning while they're having sex. Like, oh my God, it feels so good. Like, oh God, I'm gonna, it hurts so good. Because that's how powerful it is. So you're compacting emotion into something. That's sex. And so you got two planets, Pluto and Mars rule Scorpio. Now these higher octave planets used to not rule any of these signs. These are new. Pluto is actually the newest. It's actually not even a dwarf planet. It's a real planet. It's a dwarf planet. Just like Saturn is a dwarf star. It's not a planet. It's a dwarf star. So its connection to Saturn. Pluto is a planet of transformation. Pluto gives you news like, hey, you just got $1 million. But yeah, you got it because your dad died and that's your inheritance. It's like, give you good news wrapped in a pile of shit. It says, yeah, all that exercise you've been doing and all that, that growth, you get a lot of cellular growth in your body. Great. Awesome. Yeah, it's a fucking tumor. So you're growing, but you got a tumor. It's growing. So he's transformation. He just basically, is